Hello, everyone. Mike and Corey here talking what's hot in the news. Of course, more on tariffs. And I'll give you a quick update on what we saw with the tariff responses yesterday. Then I'm going to dig into what the market's doing today after starting off yesterday quite a bit down. Then hit Palantir earnings came out, which is one of our ego stocks. And then Corey's going to talk a little bit more historical about tariffs and what's happened over the years. So,
Or just Trump's first term.
oh,
How
just
that one?
Trump's first term. After like a long time ago, I was like 6 years younger back then. It seems so long. Actually, 8 years ago. That's a long time ago.
I know. But he
All
was
right.
doing the same playbook. Same
I
playbook.
had even less gray in my hair. Yeah, same playbook. So this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence on anything that you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on AnkerstarWealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Corey's alone. So just to kind of give you all a quick recap, Trump came out on Saturday and said, I'm putting some tariffs on 25% on Mexico, 25% on Canada, except for their energy, and 10% on China. The market did not like it. They wanted to see tax cuts first. Heck, I want to see tax cuts first. But the market reacted accordingly over the weekend and then into the yesterday morning, and they sold off down, maybe up to 1.5%, 2%. We quickly saw Mexico say, hey, we're going to send 10,000 troops to the border. And Trump said, we'll give you a 30-day delay. Right away, negotiations. They did something, Trump let it go. Canada, same kind of thing. They did something, 30-day delay, even though they initially talked tough. And then ultimately, this is what made me think yesterday is I think the real target of tariffs is not Canada or Mexico, although we want them to secure borders. It's really China. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, an article from Reuters. China responded a little bit differently. They haven't got their 30-day delay yet. So they responded by saying, hey, we're going to add an additional 10% tariff on Chinese exports to the U.S., or that's ours. China says, we're going to do tariffs on your imports. Then they said, we're going to start an anti-monopoly investigation into Google. Wow, there you go. Sorry, Google. And we're going to put controls on metal exports. So China's like, I really think this tariff stuff is really geared towards China. If you remember during the election, they said Trump was saying, I'm going to put a 60% tariff on China. And what we covered yesterday is they're cracking down on some of this, Temu and Shine and all this kind of stuff. So we'll see where all this goes. But let's take a look at the markets today. So after yesterday's markets being down, you can see the S&P's up 0.5% and the NASDAQ's up 1%. So it's almost, I don't want to say it's back to break even here. I'll show you the 5-day chart because we're not at break even yet from yesterday, but we're certainly getting back there. And you can see that it's really getting closer back to the all-time high. And I say that, the all-time high. So if you're panicking, saying, oh, things are going horrible and the market's selling off, it definitely had its dip yesterday, but it's recovered quite a bit already and it's nearing an all-time high. So always take a step back when you feel that way. So the other thing I wanted to hit on was Palantir. So Palantir, which is one of our ego stocks, which stands for Exponential Growth Opportunity. This was one of our 10 stocks that we invested in last year, and we're about to roll these ego stocks over into 10 new stocks. I will let you know that Palantir is not going to come out of the portfolio. It's going to come off our ego list, but it's going to actually stay in our core holdings portfolio. So it has done that well. And it's done the best of all of our ego stocks. And with today's gain of 21%, if we scroll back and look at a 1-year graph, and we bought Palantir, I don't remember exactly what day, but we bought it in the 20s. So we bought this stock in the 20s. It's at 101. So, if you are in our ego stocks, you are up 4x, pretty close to 4x on it. So, and that's exactly what we're trying to pick with an exponential growth opportunity. Some of these stocks, I hate to say it, they went down, 30, 40%. And some like Palantir are up 4 times. Toast was another one that's up over 2 times. Arista Networks is up over 2 times. We don't know, when we pick 10 stocks like that, they're certainly not all going to act like Palantir. If they did, well, we'd be a hedge fund and probably making billions if we could pick things like this. But Palantir has certainly been the apple or the diamond that we like. It got added to the S&P 500. Great company. Up to $100 a share. Is it still a great company? Absolutely. Did anything change? No. But it's getting fairly valued at this point. And I know you get to start being a little nervous buying it at $100 a share because it could come down. It certainly could come off 20% pretty quickly. So that's why it's moving out of our ego stocks. Do I really think this is going to double again or triple again this year? No, I don't. I do not. If it does, great. It's up to worth $230 billion. And what you see, what happens is when companies are worth, this one started at 40 or 50 billion when we bought it. You can grow pretty quick up into half a trillion. But once you start getting near that $1 trillion mark, it gets hard to grow after that. There's only the Microsoft and NVIDIAs and Apples that are really well over trillions. So very exciting that. And next week, we're going to start to roll out those ego stocks. We have 10 of them. I already have them picked. Just got to get through and do our compliance and due diligence on them. And then we will roll out, kind of talk what they do. You've heard of some of them, and then there's other ones that you've never heard of. So looking forward to rolling that out. So with that, I'll turn it over to Corey, and he'll talk more on tariffs. Corey, maybe we should put a tariff between Ohio and Texas. Since
what are y'all sending down here?
we send football athletes down there. That's what we send.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. That's right. We send football athletes down there. We send Ohio State Buckeyes down there to play against Texas. I don't know. I don't know what we would charge. If I put that tariff out there for Ohio State. What do you think?
Did Ohio State lose any transfer activity after the championship?
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did, and they're going to lose even more to that NFL draft. The whole college football. Everybody's transferring around. I have retained my NCAA eligibility. I still have 4 years left. I could even redshirt a year and still play 5. I'm not sure. I don't know if Steve will let me out of my contract, but we'll see. So with that, take it to tariffs.
Well, if you keep pumping these egos out there, like 2024, I think you might be worth more over here than on the field. I don't know. What would be your sport if you started using?
Oh, it'd definitely be football. I was a defensive end.
Okay.
I was all league honorable mention. So
Did you have like a signature move or anything off the edge? Would you talk trash or?
Dude, it's been so many years. If I did, I don't remember. And I definitely did not talk trash. I was not a trash talker, but
well, I was actually. Mike, I gotta say this, tell this story. So I played middle linebacker until everybody got too big, and then I was like, okay. But I played middle linebacker, and the coach always, I called all the plays, and coach he trusted me to get everybody in the right position. But during practice, and this is high school, people make a lot of mistakes. On offense, if the receivers and tight ends would always be like lining up in the wrong spot, and the coach would yell out, "Hey, idiot, you're on the wrong side." And so the kid would do like the walk of shame to the other side. But I was playing middle linebacker, and I would call out motion when they were going across. And the coach would get so mad at me. It's not motion. He's just an idiot, But I used to love that. I used to love calling out motion, like they were just trying to scheme us. Okay. Sorry for the football.
That's good. We like it.
Yep. Oh man, I used to played with some of my best friends. Had a lot of fun. Okay. So Trump tariff talk, tariff action. We've seen this before. This is the playbook. This is Trump's playbook. So let's kind of revisit 2017, 2018, Trump's first term, and kind of that first look we had at his tariff policy. So he comes out of the gate, he withdraws from the Trans Pacific Partnership Agreement. He starts renegotiating NAFTA. Countries are taking advantage of us. Countries are taking advantage of us. He starts that tariff talk that summer, so a little slower during his first term. But he might have been planning for 8 years there, so he knows he doesn't have 8 years this time. He starts some tariffs late 2017. China announces new tariffs late 2017. The market didn't care. You saw a little bit of negative reaction here on NAFTA, a little bit of negative reaction on tariff talks, a little bit, no negative action on the actual tariffs. But then we do get to things kind of heating up a few months down the road. So the market tried to brush it off. And then in beginning of 2018, we did get about a 10% correction there. When you see the headlines, a trade war, threats, trade war escalates, and then the market kind of recovered, sort of comes back, tests that 10% drop down level, and then of course it was back into an uptrend from there. So new year, new term, same playbook, same president. We'll see how it plays out. But we have seen it before, and we do have some context for, what it could look like.
I'd say the only difference between now and back then, well, there's probably lots of differences, but the biggest difference in my mind is that was prior to us getting a taste of inflation. So inflation, that was 2018, and inflation really popped up in 2022. The Fed is worried that tariffs might impact inflation. So back then we were just like, inflation's no problem at all. And now we're in a different place with the 10-year bond, with inflation. So that is a little bit of difference. And just keep in mind, I do believe the United States plays pretty nice, with everybody. They really do. The United States really does, except for people that are trying to kill us. So in other countries, it's kind of like we're in the financial industry. The United States companies are the big whale. They're the big whale, and little companies from other countries are hitting against this whale, and it's kind of like we ignore it. I think the biggest thing with China is you get your theft of intellectual capital. So that stuff goes on. It's hard to crack down on. So, we'll see where this goes. Today, market's back up. Hey, just so you know, on the year, the market is up. The market is positive. So, we're going to have our dips. When you see those big sell like yesterday at the beginning, I think buying opportunity unless something fundamentally changes. And when I say buying opportunity, it's people that have rotated money in, or they're adding to their portfolio. We're trying to get something on sale. So yesterday, right at the beginning, the market, you could get it 2-3% off. It's almost recovered that at this point. But guess what? There'll be plenty of other buying opportunities. They're never going to end. There will always be volatility. So with that, we'll leave you with thoughts of Corey and I and our NCAA eligibility. I think we'd sign as a package. I'll play defensive end. He'll play middle linebacker. Your team will be awful. But well-educated on their finances. We'll advise, put us with those future NFL guys.
I'm going to have to start investing in the weight room a little more if we're going to really convert. I've been doing a different focus on some other investing for a while.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Have a good one.